Yeah. Why you too friend to be a sick anyway? For a bother you sick anyway. Why you too friend to be a sick anyway? Be bother you sick anyway.
It leaves no stone unturned. It asks the hard questions. It uncovers every secret that's worth uncovering. Liberia's upliftment is its prime objective. The program is nothing to hide. It digs deep into the minds of the guests and brings out the facts. Nothing to hide. It window dresses no issue. It sees no sacred cow. It believes that a government or nation of the people must not work in secrecy. It's on Sky 107.1, Monday to Friday, 3 to 4 o'clock p.m. If we love It leaves no stone unturned. It asks the hard questions. It uncovers it that's worth uncovering. Liberia's upliftment is its prime objective. The program is nothing to hide. It digs deep into the minds of the guests and brings out the facts. Nothing to hide. It window dresses no issue. It sees no sacred cow. It believes that a government or nation of the people must not It's on Sky 107.1, Monday to Friday, 3 to 4 o'clock p.m. If we love Liberia, we will be sincere in our dealings with one another. It leaves no stone unturned. It asks the hard questions. It uncovers every secret that's worth uncovering. Liberia's upliftment is its prime objective. The program is nothing to hide. It digs deep into the minds of the guests and brings out the facts. Nothing to hide. It window dresses no issue. It sees no sacred cow. It believes that a government or nation of the people must not work in secrecy. It's on Sky 107.1, Monday to Friday, 3 to 4 o'clock p.m. If we love Liberia, we will be sincere in our dealings with one another.
Edition of the program, Nothing to Hide on Sky 107.1. My name is Bindi. And this afternoon, on this 21st day of July 2021, we're going and this morning in particular, we're going to be talking about the evil side of money acquisition, which is laundering. Sometimes people do that a lot to ensure that they enrich themselves overnight while other people struggle. So we have a panel. Should I say panelist? We have a team of guests, right? I'm speaking with 4 persons this afternoon, speaking with leaders of the financial sector. Mr. Dominic Nimely is the president, national chairman of PATEL, the Patriotic Entrepreneur. He's a businessman. He understands exactly the effect of money laundering in a society. Mr. Nimely Sayeh is the president of NAFIBO. NAFIBO is the National Association of Forex Exchange Bureau of Liberia. He joins us shortly. Dominic is already in the studio, by the way. But also on the line, we're going to be speaking to Mr. Sayeh Morris. Sayeh Morris would have loved to be here, but he got contacted on the short notice. So he's coming from the tech, the IT background. Icafe. Sayeh Morris Caesar Morris will join us as well to share his thoughts on the program this afternoon. But above all, we also going to be having the we're going to be having the owner now, but the boss, the head of the Financial Intelligence Unit, Honorable Edwin Harris. He joins us on the line after I speak with these men. You join us on the line and zeroing on the opening lines to hear from you. You can afford to miss the conversation. We'll be back after this break. Laundry stuff and all of that this afternoon. I want to read few lines. By the way, let me remind you also that my guests, there are 4 persons that are going to be speaking to us this afternoon on this program. We're going to be having on the line Honorable Edwin Harris. Edwin Harris is the head of the Financial Intelligence. We're also going to be speaking with the owner of Icafe. Icafe, is an internet area. So Mr. Caesar Morris, who deals with internet or cyber stuff, he's going to be looking at the cyber aspect, the cyber side of money laundering and all of that, how people use the internet to also transfer money from one point to another criminally. In the studio, I have Mr. Dominic Nimely. Dominic Nimely is the president of the Patriotic Entrepreneurs of Liberia. He's heading all of the small business people in the country. How does money laundering affect them? In what way? Mr. Nimely Sayeh plays with money every day because he heads the National Association of the Forex Exchange Bureau of Liberia. So he deal with big business people. Most of the time, money exchangers, they sit there, people bring thousands of dollars, say, take this thing, put it in US dollar for me. Do they also help to launder money from one point to another? Then we'll be joined by the FIU boss on the line as well. Now, why did I choose this topic and why is it important for us to talk more about this? I want to read just 2 paragraphs in the Front Page Africa newspaper, and it published a story on the 15th of July. It says here, Liberia's Chief Executive President George Weah on Tuesday submitted before the legislature for enactment into law an anti-money laundering bill. The bill is seeking to repeal the existing Anti-Money Laundering and Financing Act of 2012. In a communication that accompanied the bill entitled Anti-Money Laundering, Terrorist Financing, Preventive Measures, and Proceeds of Crimes Act 2021, the president said, when enacted, the law will provide enhanced measures to address unlawful financing and strengthen the country's financial sector in line with international best practices. That's why it's important for all of us to look at it nationalistically, regardless of your with you, Mr. Sayeh. You deal with money, you deal with business people daily. You were the president of the National Association of Forex Bureaus of Liberia, Forex Exchange Bureau of Liberia. Why is this bill important? I just want to go straight to the point. Why is this bill important? Why should it be passed into law?
Thank you very much. And first of all, I say thank you to the Ascribing family for inviting me to this unique studio on this Wednesday. The issue about the anti-money laundering tariff financing bill is very much important when it comes to the FX market, because you know that anti-money laundering and money tariff financiers are people who deal with foreign exchange.
Okay, yeah, please.
They make sure they clean their money before even going to bad practice. That's why they say money laundering comes first before tariff financing. Okay. Because you have to clean the money before you finance any.
So the process of cleaning dirty money is laundering.
It's laundering. Okay. Washing dirty money, washing something to make it clean. That means washing dirty money to make it good. So we are in the foreign exchange market. Thought it was and embrace and welcome the president's decision on making this bill, because the first bill that was passed, present day reality, system that we need to work when it comes to our anti-money laundering and terror financing law. So we as a foreign exchange operators in the association, person as a whole, facilitatively decided to say, look, since indeed the president do this, because that's what we want, because we in the market, we see things how it work. A lot of people do this through the foreign exchange market illegally in the name of we are selling goods.
You're the president of the Forex Bureau,
Right.
of the National Association of the Foreign Exchange Bureau of Liberia. You're very keen on making sure that even some of your operators adhere to best financial practices. This bill, when passed into law, how is it going to help you? Because it is true some of the dirty financial transactions, some of your colleagues who in the business to get more money. Isn't it going to hinder some growth business-wise?
Look, this bill, it's not just an ordinary bill concerning just the normal transaction of change US dollar to Liberian dollar. There's a clandestine thing under it.
Something deeper under it. So this system will help to cleanse the foreign exchange operation in Liberia. Even the way people come into the business, lessening people. There's some other problem along the way. And whether this, we all have to help the system by identifying who's supposed to do the FX, because FX is a small business on our law. Okay, now in the present reality, and anybody can go apply for license. That's also wrong. Okay, so this anti-money laundering financing act will help to sift those who bear licenses around our country. So you mean to say that this particular thing, you as president of this prestigious organization, you will also join the government to campaign to ensure the president to campaign that this bill is passed, because it's going to help you.
It is our wish. That's why we as a body decide to help the government willingly with our own resources by cleaning all red balls from all over, because people before to take the red money laundering to get the money, whether they armed robbery, because on the money laundering act, you have armed robbery, bribery, all these things fall under it. Not just it have about more than 21, 22 and practical offenses. Wow. And we have under that stuff. So this thing is a bigger thing that we have to look at as a citizen to see how help the government. Because when we help the government, we help ourselves and we help our children, with our children, unborn children.
Okay.
So now what we are saying is that we embrace it and then we asking the legislature to speedily pass this bill, because it's going to reform our financial system and make people to have trust within our country economy and have trust in our financial system.
Okay, thank you. He's Mr. Nimely Sayeh. Nimely is the president of the National Association of the Forex Exchange Bureau of Liberia. Let me hear from the businessman who is also now in the leadership position. He has all of the small business people in the country. That's why they call themselves patriotic entrepreneurs of Liberia. Mr. Dominic Nimely, you are a business person. How does money laundering affect you? Or how do you benefit from it? Some of you unscrupulous business people. Maybe.
Well, money laundering in our around. By the way, I'm Dominic Nimely. You only talk about PATEL. You don't talk about Liberia. I'm the chair on trade and commerce for the Republic of Liberia.
Your portfolio too long.
Well, those are things that people don't know.
I know.
So, money laundering affect a lot, especially Liberian-owned businesses. For the past decades plus, we have been encountering this problem. For the past decade plus, like I and the president was on the calls on Mail Radio a few months ago, and we discussed the same thing. Our foreign exchange rate, for example, in this country, having been run by the central bank governance.
Are you kidding?
Yes, it being
the foreign
run,
exchange rate.
The foreign exchange rate having been decided upon or run by the central bank governance.
Explain that.
Because the foreigner have huge portion of our money being kept on the mattresses to the homes, the stores, the warehouses, and the secret. Because of that, our government is not able to give a rate that can be maintained by the central bank governor. For example, the central bank governor will come up today and say the exchange rate is 69. But you go on the road, is more than 69. Government after government, including I and this man and others, well-meaning Liberians, who have come to central bank governor and asked the governors and said that we want to form a task force team. Comprised of NSA, CID, Central Bank, Liberia Business Association, including the foreign exchange, to point out those people that, because it's a national security crisis, a crisis right there, something bad for our country. You see people are calling Wolf, buying Ulster Benin. What is setting down? What they're buying Ulster Benin, overnight. Are we not doing the same business? We are doing the same business.
You're in the same economic.
We're doing it in the same
economy. You are in the same space. You're transacting with the same buyers.
So it's an open secret What people even during the past administration, people was caught or importing Liberian dollars from China and other places, and now we are about to print a $1,000 note. It scared me a lot because people are coming to tend to billionaire most last decades, and they're coming to tend to billionaire in or years to come. Where do we stand as Liberian?
How does this bill come in to help the situation?
Well, I think if you ask me, we have the best laws on the books in the whole West African region, but the implementation part is the problem because everybody seek their own interests. Minister or one whosoever, Joe Bro or John who, when they go to place a rice, his interest involved, and we just be swept under the carpet like I previously stated. You remember when our former president said, the business people put the money in the suitcases and carry. Who should be referring to? Not Liberian businesses. Should be referring to the foreign businesses.
Of course, you were invested. You were built here. Yeah.
Yes, you understand. So I work on this build. That my soul, my blood, even the air that I breathe.
Yeah, but there's a conjunction you attach to it, Dominic. You talk about
the only way this can be implemented. The Liberia Business Association, LIBA, which is the umbrella head of all business organizations in Liberia by law, PATEL, the Foreign Exchange Bureau, NSA, Central Bank, and CRD, police.
Everybody should get involved.
We have to form a task force team, a strong one that cannot be compromised. Then I can assure you we can bring it to us.
But the implementation and forces that matters.
Yeah.
We have two presidents also. Cesar Morris. Cesar owns an internet cafe. Our cafe, by the way, is one of the oldest internet cafes in the country that many students have benefited from in this country. So Cesar joins us on the line shortly to tell us also his own take, because technology plays its own role. You know, before Cesar comes in, Mr. Sayeh, you have been doing this business, the money exchange business, for a very long time now.
Right.
That's something you've now ascended to the presidency of the organization. Under your leadership, the organization is seeing a lot of transformation. You're meeting out with other people and all of that. You're interacting with the FIU, conducted some trainings for your people. And so, you know, this modern age, is it always the case that people always use physical cash, take it from one point to another? Is that the only way laundering is done? Because before the IT mail comes on, what do you think about technology?
First of all, criminality is a skills where you can predict. Okay, so whether digital, physical, crime is crime. We can fight it by all means. Okay, that's why my brother Dominic said, we need a joint task force. Last time I was on my radio, we said the same thing.
But you guys always agree with each other.
Because we fight for the cause of Liberia. This is our country. No matter what. When you see the foreign exchange market, it's being controlled by our other friends, our other sisters. That's completely bad. Why would a man got a store? I see them have a foreign exchange. So how do you trace that man?
No, I don't get it.
Okay.
Someone runs a store, they should not be exchanging money.
They shouldn't have a foreign exchange business.
Okay.
Because how do you differentiate the store from the foreign exchange? Because if the man makes his money, he'll get to the bank, he transfer to the store and get your money and wire it somewhere. Okay, so all these things we have to look at it. Who owns our foreign exchange licenses? We have to visit it, and those that are into the business, we have to know they have to be a Liberian. Okay, so that thing that we have to fight, whether digital or physical, we have to fight it. And moreover, we need this task force. We need this task force. If task force is not consolidated or organized, definitely we'll get past the law. It will be a sleeping law, and we don't want it like that. This thing is a national issue. That's why, thanks to the FIU, thanks to Mr. Edwin Harris, who tried to bring us a robust, pressure on the new financial system, making sure that businesses and bureaus and banks, all people are following the new regulations to be able to follow a good system. So we embrace the idea and we want for the thing to pass period because Liberia now we're going towards changing of this new money. You know, here's going to learn in.
No, Dominic,
if we don't set this system, we're going to fall in big trouble.
Dominic was making a point about the issue of the 1,000 Liberian dollar that's not coming into our currency,
right?
The new money that we're about to print. He said initially people already have become millionaires overnight because of the usage or the involvement of $500, dollars. So $1,000, you
For
know, and
me,
all of these things. And so
I think the $1,000 is good, but we need to put some measures in place. If this measure is not in place, we're going to fall in your bigger trouble. Jail will fall in trouble with the 500 bills. So what Dominic is saying, yes, one way or other, I agree with him, but also they said because Liberia is the only country in the South region that have the lowest denomination. Yeah. But other countries that denomination is bigger than Liberia, but it's protected. Our own, no feature, no security, nothing. So with this law, it's going to back all this the bigger bill to protect it. But hey, we need to have a task force.
Dominic, how do you think this is going to help? This is going to instill fear in unscrupulous business people when most of the time these acts are committed like it's like a syndicate, you know, that is very difficult for you to break through their sales.
It's a cartel. Right. It is a cartel.
It's a cartel, and as I see it.
Those people that are running the foreign exchange in our country right now, those foreigners who claim to be Liberian, I can assure you that you cannot. We have fought to penetrate them. There's a barrier that you can't cross. You fight it too much, your hair will leave there. Now, for example, central bank have policies on the book. All over West Africa, like Nigeria, because we do our due diligence, including himself, to open bank is 150 million to 200 million minimum deposit in the central bank of that country covers. In Liberia, it's just $10 million. So all the banks in Liberia broke. One of the requirements before opening a bank in a country, you should have an FS exchange window. 99.9% of the banks in Liberia they sign that document. But if I go there right now, I can defy all the banks in Liberia, all the MD, CEOs, and you name it. When I go there as a business, I got to trade. I take bank loans. I rush in to pay the bank loan. In Liberia, taking bank loan is like a death trap for you. You rush in to pay them, and they're not taking LD. You got to go change that money. If I go to the bank, I have an account with the bank. They say, "Oh, we don't have USD." But if our foreign counterparts go there, they give them USD. We have to come on the street because we want to go buy goods to turn it around quick to pay back our bank loan and to gain maximize small profits for ourselves. Because that's the concept of making business. In that process, you're forced to take the rate on the street. This man have tried his shoe, he have finished, he have run from place to place, from market ground, from the radar to the Douala, or you name it, to Ganta. Fought. But how is it going to help when there is no unity? Central bank need to calm down hard. I see central bank as the problem because they are very weak. Not just this government. Governor after governor. Before what is his name? Natal, the former central bank governor, Patriot left office. I have to go to him. Even doing Manasalita again, I gotta go there and say, my Liberian business people, we don't have USD, we don't have access to getting USD. Guess what they did?
What?
They have to forcefully open a window downstairs in the central bank to be giving all USD.
And currently it's there.
No, it's not.
It's been closed.
It's no longer.
Let me hold you. Okay.
So I'll give you the secrets. The secrets are there. We know it to our fingertip. Our market women again are going because our big problem as Liberian-owned business people is access to finance. Like I prefer to state, why are they doing that we can do that make them succeeding and we're not succeeding? Because of few things. The foreign exchange rate is not being
controlled by the central bank.
Then not purchase. There's something good before leaving power. He said, okay, we have spoken to Nigeria. We're starting with Nigeria. The business women that go to Nigeria to go buy goods, the Central Bank of Nigeria and Liberia have emerged that your currency will be flipped over right there. So you just carry your account and you'll do the swap there. But it wasn't enacted into law, or we didn't start the work of it because of the coronavirus crisis, and he left power. I think the president knows about that as well. So those are things that we want to happen. For example, Ghana next door. You see that money is brand new always. Why brand new? Because of the e-banking system. We need to be computer literate in this country. But there is no public legislation going on around.
Okay, Dominic, let me hear you a little bit. Let me join.
Who can do it better is we, the business people.
And that's why you people are invited to this conversation this afternoon. You're listening to Nothing to Hide in Sky, 107.1. My guest this afternoon, Mr. Nimely Sayeh. Sayeh is the president. Yeah, one Nimely comes first, the other Nimely comes last. Dominic Nimely and Nimely Sayeh. So yes, on the line now is Caesar Morris. Caesar runs the Icafe. Caesar, by the way, is a member of PATEL. So Caesar Morris is on the line. Caesar would tell us briefly, how can technology be used to launder money? Caesar, good afternoon and welcome to Nothing to Hide.
Thank you. I feel so honored being a part of your show today. And the fact that I'm hearing my two colleagues, I am so excited because they are adequately talking about the issues that affect our lives.
Morris, Mr. Morris, it's a pleasure. Like I said, now let's deal with you. Thank you so much for maintaining Icafe. Stay there. It's been long. I mean, so far it's one of the first internet, areas or hubs in the country that many young people benefited from. Thank you for maintaining that business still going despite the many challenges. But right now, we're not here to do PR for your business. So let's go straight into the discussion. So, technology. How is it helping unscrupulous money owners to launder their money from one point to another?
I would like to just talk about this openly across other sectors because, to a larger extent, there are more loopholes. That's why I'm hoping to see what the proposed bill is about, so we can suggest to lawmakers on what needs to change and how they will need to craft it, that it becomes enforceable, that protects our country. For example, even though I haven't seen what the law says, but I would have loved that there is some kind of anti-money laundering KYC policy within the act.
What is KYC?
And what that it is this thing called Know Your Customers. So, for example, under the central bank operations during, these auctions are open. I mean, you can bring a whole truckload of money. Nobody wants to know where you got it from. Once you're paying people in there to flip your money from LD to Liberian dollar, that's it. And these are major sources that affect our country, right? We love to see more rigid anti-money or the AML KYCs in our systems. If somebody come and say they are investors, we want due diligence done on that person. Who is he? Where he got his money from? What are those sources? I mean, those were some of the things that even embarrassed the government in sometimes ago with the Ebola deal. Everybody was excited for $500 million. Nobody cared to know where the money came from. So this is affecting us. And what is even scary, the fact that the banks in our country has been so lackadaisical with the policies, it has made it even scary because now there's something called cryptocurrency that some Liberians are using right now for good. Now, what that simply means is any businessman in Liberia who is afraid of the banking systems because of them taking your money out of their account all the time, you can now flip your money from your bank account to a cryptocurrency account, meaning it's more like a universal currency where your money doesn't go to a bank. So once you have a local bank account, you can move that money on to a cryptocurrency and just get on a plane and go anywhere and you still have access to the money. So this in itself, it is one of the major loopholes in our country that scares a lot of us because the bank that has triggered this, when I'm saying the bank triggered it, they triggered it because people got frustrated with the system, stealing their money, charging their money unnecessarily, pulling their money from place to place. And that is one of the major problems that harm our country, that over 90% of the money is outside the bank because these guys now use cryptocurrencies. All you need to do these days is move your money as you make your sales today, you flip it into crypto, and you just get on the plane with your wallet and your cell phone, and you go to China and you just pull it out. You go to Dubai and just pull it out. Go to the US and just pull it out.
And Mr. Morris,
in other developed nations,
if that is already going on, Morris, if that is already going on in Liberia, that is the technological part of it. We actually called you for. So if that is already happening, what can you say in terms of observation, analysis, and so what can you say is currently happening to our financial sector? Then the coming of this bill has some rigid clauses in it. How is it going to help to ensure that government also monitors the internet financial transaction?
like I said again, I haven't seen the bill. I don't know what is it trying to protect. I don't know the new policies and these things that's supposed to be in it. But I would love to see that new bill address some of those issues that I just mentioned. Because, for example, a mining company that got a license to mine gold, for example, if they found diamond, that money gets out of here easily, either through crypto or through some other means that government is not watching. And there's no law right now that prevents me or any investor who got a mining license from leaving some of your money here. Now, in other countries, there are laws, for example, on the books that says if XYZ company made X number of dollar or X number of profit in our country, only this amount is allowed to leave the country. So the banking system and the government in those countries protect the money so there can be more money in the country on the market, that everybody has money when they need it, when they want it. In our country, there's no law that stops a settlemental, for example, from pulling out the $1 trillion that they make, or the APM terminal that exploit us so much money. There's no law on the books. And I am hoping that the new draft bill address these things. Because if they do address these things, it will not solve the problem that my colleagues are talking about. Over 85% of the money in circulation is outside the bank. They're outside the bank because there are sources outside the bank that people wire money through. If the policies do not address those problems, those issues, some of them that I'm mentioning now, it wouldn't help our country. To a large extent, people still smoke money out of do these things that they are doing now. I mean, it's so easy. I mean, government official, for example, can steal $2 million and he just go and in one trash, and that money ends up in Nigeria in a bank. It ends up in France in a bank. So if there are rigid anti-money laundering KYCs on the book, it will prevent Joe Blow from even trying to steal, because it is almost impossible to move the money out. So there got to be a way that this new policy address issues about electronic transactions. So if you want to buy something and you cross certain thresholds, it shouldn't be cash. If I want to buy US dollars, for example, to import some computers, I shouldn't just show up to a bank and there's no history of me doing business or doing something. So I haven't seen the law. I hope I can see it. I will also swing by some of the things that are killing the country, and this is a law that will fix it. So can you put this and this in these laws and make sure it's stronger? But I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, but thank you so much, Caesar. For online store, by the way. We're yet to get the FIU boss or his numbers, seem to be off. We just want to zero in with him quickly so he can provide some more education to the public regarding this particular bill. Two business people are here in the studio, Mr. Dominic Nimely from PATEL and Liberia, Mr. Nimely Sayeh from NAFIBO, that's the National Association of the Forex Exchange Bureau of Liberia. Gentlemen, let me get back to you guys and just get one points from you and hear from the public as well, while we're still making effort to hear from Mr. Edwin Harris. Caesar Morris, by the way, is still on the line. Caesar is still going to weigh in. Okay, he left, but he at some point is still going to get back on to weighing on the discussion that we are having this afternoon. Caesar talked about internet transaction, but and you, Dominic, you're a businessman, and you must have heard a lot about the central bank talking about. I listened to the governor. Well, we want to run a cashless society. We have a cash society, and we are having issues. Our people, most of them are not tech savvy and all of that. What do you think will happen should we run a cashless society? You as a businessman, already people take money from here easily and take it out of the country. What do you think will happen? What do you think about that?
So before answering that question, let me just raise one or two points that I just grabbed.
Yeah.
I think you heard about the APN terminal. APN terminal was signed into law by the past administration, and then they refusing our national currency. That is an abomination in all the world. Besides APN terminal, the shipping lines have followed suit. Even LRA taking 50% in Liberian dollars and in US. We have to put our foot down strong during the past administration for that to happen because they wanted everything 100% in US dollar. I told them, I'm not American. There is not America. There is Liberia. My currency should be respected. So like Mr. Morris said, all right, that Mr. Morris said, he said it all. So we are saying the same thing. You asked a question. What was the question again?
Talking about, running a cashless society. The central bank, that's a question for the central bank. But you as a business person, what do you think will happen?
I was called at the legislature before the printing of the 500 note and this 1,000 note in question. But the tricky part of it, they only call also our names because they know we are stakeholders. So our names can be a fit to those.
Okay, hold on a little bit. Sir, Mr. Mountain, we just you have to get your internet on. We want to put you on now. Just get back on your WhatsApp. Let me quickly let the producers call you and put you on, please. Okay, he's getting back on here. Please go ahead.
So they only call us to let us know, because how will you call me to make such decision for my country, for my people that I represent, with all working documents? When we asked the central bank governor, he told us they were bringing it another time. They called abruptly, like to say today, they sent me the letter from the legislature around 2 p.m. and they said the next day, 11 a.m., we should be at the legislature.
To explain, provide education.
Being a patriotic citizen, we had to be there. We went. Some of our business people boycotted that meeting because it was abrupt and there was no working tools. So some of us went there to flag up issues. When I went there, I told them, number one, I don't know the denomination. You tell me about the denomination, but I don't know how the $1,000 in question going to look like. And some of the legislators flagged that up as well. They said they were calling about the next day. Since then, the next they haven't reached. So, my brother, it's hard to say.
It's very, very hard to say. We want to not get on the line. Mr. Mounting, Edwin Mounting is on the line. Edwin Harris, sorry. Edwin Harris is the head of the Financial Intelligence Unit. It's a pleasure having you on the program this afternoon. Is Reconnecting Technology. We're running a cashless society, and we have these kind of, serious connectivity issues. And so I don't know what's going to happen, whether we ever going to defeat money laundering. But this is Edwin Harris. Mr. Edwin Harris is the head of the Financial Intelligence Unit. We just want to hear from him briefly, giving you a little background about this particular bill, how it's going to help his, the fight against, money laundering. Folks, you're listening. You're listening to Nothing to Hide in Sky 107.1, and we have for us this afternoon Mr. Dominic Nimely from PATEL and Liberia, as well as Mr. Nimely Sayeh. Nimely Sayeh is the head of NAFIBO. NAFIBO is the National Association of the Forex Exchange Bureau of Liberia. We are all launching this war against money laundering. And this is why the president introduced this bill, Anti-Money Laundering bill, which is very, 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 very good. So I just have to call him directly and then just get his point. Yes, so we may not open it, by the way, because this is extremely, is more about providing education and introducing this particular conversation. We may have this another time, sometime this week. But you listen to Morris, Dominic, you were lending your thoughts.
Yes, I will
Just
learn
lend your thoughts.
because in that last conference concerning the $1,000 bill to be printed, John B.S. David, the president of Liberian banking institution in Liberia, came up with a certain point, which of course I saw a lot of logic in it. Of course, he and I,
Go ahead.
Of course, he and I always have a disagreement. Yes, and he said that he has spoken with some people in the U.S. some company, and they want to bring a ATM machine that will be in the various countries that will put in the various languages or dialects in Liberia. That they call the woman that selling pepper in the village, she can use that machine. Because I spoke strongly on the note that's already on the market that it tend to pile up. So they should change the our national currency to either use it, make it like the Nigerian to be half plastic, half paper. That in that way, I think it would last. It will not be torn up because $100,000 they tune up, the bank will refuse it. Yes, so we flag all of those things, and that is one good part of it. I think the president should talk to John B. Mr. Davis on that, and we'll see how that can work too. It will be a great help to us.
Mr. Sayeh?
Okay, for me, listening to all sides, I think what actually as a patriotic citizen we are interested is to push the anti-money laundering bill. It is very much necessary. We must support it. We must support government, and we ask government to look down, because we are down there interfacing with the people. We are the direct representative of the government when it comes to crimes. Okay, now every business person must deal with some criminals. So if at all we are not insupportive or propagating government policy or messages when it comes to money laundering and terrorist financing, then it's not going to work. And we want the government to come down. Setting up data force is very much necessary. Anti-money laundering is everybody's business because it's a national security issue. So we are asking government whether they are listening or not. Let them deal with the business people. Let them deal with the FX Bureau. Fast administration at the bank. Have a meeting with all stakeholders. When they want to introduce the quants, we sat in the central bank ballroom and we discuss these things. Now, we come in to have new currency on our market, new family bank note. This issue of money laundering, if we don't tighten our seatbelt, our other people, the foreigners going to take this money, keep it somewhere, and I know the Liberian government be buying their own money. It's been happening. So we don't want to go into this. So for the foreign exchange department of this country, we are saying we in support of the bill. We're asking the legislature, we're calling them to spirit pass the bill, because Mr. Harris is a very, very robust person. Want to have this succeed because his life is on the line to make this happen, and he is willing. He's working, making sure. Okay, so we need everybody to come aboard to start looking fight this thing. And another thing is, we as a foreign exchange organization, we're doing this on our own leg. We're just helping government. No support. Today, around the country, to see rate display is very difficult. We're doing it on our own, on the existing law. No support. We need support in these things. We can't be helping government not helping. When we all sit down today, it will be a heavy pressure on government. If you listen to the past protests the people having in the country, always the rate is high, team prices are high, because the foreigner will always use these occasions to make to steal and Liberian business, to steal and earn Liberian people. If the rate is high on the market, you find goods prices will go up. It will be that excuse, it will be justified. We don't want it. We need full cooperation of this government, and we make sure that we support them once they in our interest too, because we can be washing their back, then they can wash us no more.
We're going to be in the lines at this point. I would have loved to just have this conversation repeatedly, and not getting the FIU boss on the line is getting some difficulty. We're going to hear from you too, what you think about it. You're a business person out there. What do you think about money laundering? You're that person who you yourself have some idea on that. You see a lot of people do some transaction that could affect the country. This bill is necessary. I'm going to read a few more lines from it. And like the brother said, that he is yet to see the bill. Of course, I have not seen the bill as well. The bill cannot be seen right now clearly until maybe the lawmakers pass it. And so it's not a public document yet. It's still being discussed by the lawmaker. the lawmakers. We hope that they can pass it. And like Dominic said, and the guys in the studio are saying, this is a patriotic conversation, that there be a task force set up, that people can get out there to ensure that NAFIBO, by the way, has set up her own task force, thereby reaching out there, ensuring that all money exchangers, abide by the regulations, the standard. So if the government can pass this particular, the lawmakers can pass this bill, and there's a tax force set up suggested by Patel's head, I think it's going to help a lot. But let's hear you. Call us on 0777 107 0777 221 223 0777 107 0777 221 223. The numbers you can call us on to participate. Let's hear from this first person. Hello. Yes, sir. Good afternoon. Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Matthias.
Good afternoon, sir. Let's hear you.
And good afternoon to Mr. Nimely and all guests in the studio. My name is David E. Harris, and I call from Broad and Rana intersection.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Matthias. My thing has to do with the bill. They got other bills that have been passed here in time past, but they are not being effective. So my thing is, during bill, what are some of the things they will do to really put in system that bill will be really effective? Thank you.
Well, the guys here, I don't know whether they themselves are providing some suggestions to the government to put some more stringent measures, in place to ensure that people do not get involved into this thing. Those who will be caught doing money laundering will be dealt with. Now, the current law, by the way, that this law, as I'm reading here from the Front Page Africa newspaper, this law defines property as currency and assets. We have this person. Hello. Hello. All right, let's move on to this other person. Call us on the numbers 0777 777 107, 0777 777 107, 0777 221 223. Let's hear from this person. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Danny. How are you, sir?
Fine, thank you.
Calling you from Looking Town this afternoon.
Let's hear you.
Yeah, sir. Has this bill been passed already?
No, it hasn't. The president just submitted it.
Matthias, I want to be honest with you guys. Just stop the praising emptiness. This is going nowhere. The people who perpetrate the crime cannot be the one to enact laws. And you think that law will be effective. And you journalists are aware of it. It's just a flow show. Now, the most important bill to pass in this country is the War and Economic Crime Code Bill. That bill contains all of what these people are fooling around, playing around, pretending around. If that bill is enacted in this country, all these things will fall in it. So long they have not paid attention to that, everything else, whether president and actors, are just emptiness. We're just bullshitting, killing time, buying time. So I don't want you, the journalists, to be there promoting this kind of emptiness around here. Because emptiness, nothing's going to come out of it. The war and economic crime, I'm telling you, in this country, is the number one that will change Liberia and bring integrity back into this land and restore the insanity of this country. I'm using the word, I repeat, and restore the insanity.
Restore insanity?
I said, insanity of the country. The country is sick.
The country is sick. You want us to restore insanity again? All right, thank you. Let's move on to this other. Yeah, good afternoon.
Hello.
You're live. Go ahead.
Hello.
Well, I think that line needs to be checked. Cut us in the numbers 0777. We have a few minutes to go now. Now that's that Liberian brother that called from Looking Town. He sounds a bit pessimistic about this. That this is a flow show. We should stop promoting it. Well, we are journalists. Whether as we are sounding very positive right now, we're talking about it and giving you all of the basic thing and what the bill seeks to achieve if it is passed into law. If it doesn't work, you're certainly going to hear from us again. But let's hear from this other person on the other side of the line. Hello. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah.
Matar.
Let's hear you, sir.
My name is Dominic Kemoka, calling from APRC.
Mr. Kemoka, please go ahead.
You know, the only problem I have with the money laundering thing is that they falsify money on the market. You know, they 500 note. Sunday you see it can be let. The other one a little bit heavy. You know, so I want to know, guys, from the business angle.
Yeah, Dominic.
Yeah, how do they identify the money on the market? Because every money have a security feature, but I think Liberia money have it, but it's not guaranteed. Anybody can fix. So I want to know from the money on the market.
I tell you, Dominic, you just have to close up with the interaction there with you guys in the public. Thank you so much for all of you who participate, and those of you live there watching us as well. Unfortunately, we could not get Mr. Edwin Harris. Probably he's busy right now. But thanks to, as well as thanks to Mr. Caesar Morris, who took off time and then phoning, provided little education. And next time he comes back, we're going to look at the technological aspect of it. Thanks to the brother who sounded pessimistic as well about this whole thing, that nothing is going to come out of it. We should stop promoting it. We're not paid to do what we're doing. We see a very good, proposal, and we think it's a good one. Let's lift it up. If the government does not do her part, we're certainly going to come back again and lash our government for not doing her part. I mean, it will be the last. Let me hear from you, Mr. Sayeh. Finally.
Okay. My closing comment will be, government, they are listening. And we asked them from the Foreign Exchange Association arm that they should take money laundering and terror financing seriously, because many clean business people want to come, investors want to come in the country, but our system is bad. And whenever we protect this thing, make it pass and enforce it by creating task force or task force or joint task force for that, definitely people will see sanity in our system. It will see fairness to see how best to come in our country and invest. Moreover, you see, for we NAFIBO, I've introduced a task force on my own to create a task force to make sure to go after us of foreign exchange operators. Make sure they follow the regulations. Do not display rate. Do not announce rate. All these things, do not post rate on your doors or on billboards. All these things, the task force going after it on my own expense. Okay? So government saying now that they are taking the prices. Why should I be doing that every time? Why should I be doing that every time? And we as a Liberian, we have interest in our country right now because war is not coming to the country no more. So all we have to do is to promote our economy. Our economy can be in the hands of people where for the back of agents and being the hands of people who can sell cola and stay here and got duplexes, and Liberians with lands, with counties origin, with dialect speaking, don't have a heart in our own country. We don't promote the money laundering, we'll continue to suffer, and people continue to give us corporates every time. Money laundering will make us to own our own thing, go to agriculture, because when you have money in your hands as a Liberian, you're investing in agriculture. Foreigner will not invest in agriculture. Okay. So the issue that we have to promote, and we embrace the idea of calling the legislature to speed the passing so that we, like people, can have a good fairness of our economy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nimely Sayeh, president of NAFIBO. NAFIBO is the National National Association of Forex Exchange Bureau of Liberia. Mr. Nimely, somebody asked you a question before you wrap up quickly. You have 1 minute, 30 seconds. How do you identify? How do you identify the money? Because the guy says sometimes you know the fire knows on heavy, on that kind of way.
He's right. Yeah, they have heard a lot of counterfeit to me. The president can notice that. There is a lot of counterfeit being imported into this country by foreigners call themselves business people, and some Liberian as well. So we name the national security, the police and what have you, like I said. They know there are cases concerning what I'm out in the Liberian National Police Headquarters. Those are things that they need to step on. Like you said, you'll see somebody looking at real paper, the 50, the 100 note. You see it when you touch it 3, 4, 5 times, you see the ink on it wearing out by himself. He's right. There's no security. People, I won't say people turn to millionaire, like the president said, people turn to millionaire in like bro one night. Somebody that selling cola in the jiffy. You see them bidding outside, bidding or buying prime property. Without doing the real business, we cannot even achieve that. You understand?
Let's wrap up.
Yeah, so there are things that we must look at, and we like to tell the president to look into what we just said as well. The national, the task force team, we're going to help because we have all the good laws that I previously stated, but the implementation part of it is our problem, and we need to look at that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's Mr. Dominic Nimely. Dominic Nimely is from PATEL and Liberia as well. It's a businessman. Thanks to you as well, Mr. Nimely Sayeh of NAFIBO. Unfortunately, we could not speak Mr. Harris, Edwin Harris. We hope to bring him in exclusively to explain about this bill. We needed to squeeze him in for a few minutes on the program this afternoon. My name is Matthias Labindi. Thanks for being there.